All right, Shalom. Before I start, I'm going to give all praises to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rachach Barash, the honors to the elders and apostles, Great Millstone. Peace, blessings, and salutations to all the elect Akim, while Akwath, learning the teaching of truth and sincerity in this video through the spirit, your brother Malak from GMS Detroit. Hey, this one right here, I got this clip. And that guy on the left, he's that Edomite pastor who, he's a supremacist, right? And he likes to use the Bible to justify his racist white beliefs. And so even one of his own, this Ruslan KD guy, was calling him out on it. And here there's going to be this little debate, I guess, which we don't fuck with Ruslan. He's done videos about us referring to the Israelites, right, trying to demean us. But here in this argument, you see that this guy on the left, Esau, Edom, the so-called white man, they don't actually believe in the Bible. They've only used it as a tool of oppression these past centuries, right? As a weapon to justify their mythical superiority and to keep the minds of the people, from rebelling against them, in the sense of, you can't come up against us. We're God's people. This position is godly, sanctified. Just be happy you're alive, right? Now, we'll preface the video saying this, right? The Israelites in particular have a particular set of codes concerning relationships, who and who they can and can't be with, and under what circumstances they can or can't. But what this guy's about to go on to say, y'all, is completely unfounded in the scriptures. And they was even eating them up here in the comments. So let's let it play.
We're taking people from opposite ends of the earth en masse, wave after wave, with no pause in between, and putting them in the same place, and then encouraging same-sex marriage, encouraging abortion, encouraging intermarriage, encouraging all these different things, saying, well, you know what, if this forms a new ethnicity, and I don't think that's normal for what we're talking about.
And here again, we see that white fear, right? That they're going to get bred out. And they're the only ones running around scared like that. That's funny.
Is liberty of conscience. We're talking about this category where something
go to Romans 14
it may not be best, it may not be the ideal, but it is still permissible nonetheless. Like this is a category in Scripture.
Yeah, you're talking about wisdom issues, right?
Yeah.
You're talking about wisdom issues.
Yeah.
So if we're talking about wisdom issues, you're conflating, again, ethnos and race with culture and faith. That's the huge distinction.
I think it's unwise to genocide the entire European
That's
race.
an emotional argument. You're backdooring emotionally charged language to make the white kids who watch this feel like their jobs are being taken.
I think it would be.
And Ruslan is actually right on with that, what he just said right there. You're using that inflammatory language to try to incite the young Edom boys, right, to that, bring them back to that 1802 spirit, right? See a nigga, hang a nigga. And people, the grifters, because that's what he is, a race grifter, they all, try to run that same thing, oh, yeah, don't. Essentially, they're scared of being bred out. And, shit, that's all y'all. That don't got nothing to do with us.
I think it would be tragic if white people perish from the face of the earth. Like, that's not an emotional.
I would also say the same
I would
thing,
agree.
that it would be horrible if white people perish from the face of the earth. That's different.
We know you don't take that position.
Bro.
But if interracial
And, of course, there go to Coon, God Logic, Coon Monkey.
marriage was normative, came to the point, if you guys, it grew and grew and grew in popularity, and you guys said, hey, there's nothing in the Bible against this. If it grew to 50, 60%, European people
Coupled
would
with
perish
mass
from the face of the
immigration,
earth
coupled
over
with
generations.
abortion.
They just would.
Maybe
So we're
that's
saying that's the logical
None of us
outcome.
would be here, bro.
You don't want it. I don't want it.
But none of us
so
would
let's
be
walk
here.
back a couple
None of us
steps.
would be here. Go ahead.
Wait, what
No,
do you
I
mean?
don't-
But my children,
Like
my
if it would
offspring
take
would be.
multiple generations, so your offspring
I
are only
would
offspring
care.
if they look exactly like you?
That's like a Hezekiah move. Hezekiah hears that
Yeah.
bad things will happen after his lifetime. That's Hezekiah's the original
No,
boomer,
I'm saying I don't
right?
think
Oh, it
I
won't happen
don't
in my lifetime, so I don't care.
respectfully, if we're being honest, I don't think either.
Wow. See, so y'all, Edom, they cherry pick. Man, that's crazy. With that, that reference to Hezekiah, when it was told to him, judgments was coming. It's, the Lord said, he said, so let it be, but in my days it'll be all good. He's trying to see Esau. They bend the scriptures to their to fit their demonic ideologies.
Of you are going to care if your grandkids or your great grandkids are mixed. I really don't think this is going to be an issue.
If they possess the nation that was gifted to them by...
Yeah, but that's an arbitrary definition of nation. We already agreed that there's nations that are mixed ethnic, that exist. So you guys being down the road, your grandkids, your great-grandkids, and one of them is white, and one of them is mixed, and one of them married a Spanish guy, and one of them married... You guys aren't going to care. Like, be honest. You're not going to care. You're going to love those grandkids. You're going to see the image of God. You're going to see yourself in them. You're going to celebrate what God is doing through them. You're going to celebrate the Christian heritage that you laid out for them as the primary identity markers. This stuff's not going to matter in generations and generations.
Yeah, so one of these new ethnicities, whether it's the American ethnicity, this is what Teddy Roosevelt said about 1900 to 1910, 1920. He said that there were multiple different ingredients. Let's use this analogy of like a furnace, multiple different ingredients. You have the French, you have the Celtics, you have the this, that, and the other, and the Brits. They come in, Germanics. They come in, and what you have is time. You have not 1,000 ingredients. You have.
So I'm sorry, I'm gonna pause it right there and get some scripts. One of the big things, they're confused on what nationality is. They believe, because once again, this is a problem that the Edomites created here in this Western world recently, right? The past couple hundred years. They immediately associate skin color with nationality, which is not always the case, right? Now, number one, what we're gonna establish. Let me do something real quick. Give me 1 second, y'all. I'm sorry. Clocked out. Cool. The Israelites specifically were forbidden from making children in whose land they were about to take. Right. And going back to our forefathers, right? You read in Genesis. Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. It was told and promoted. Don't be getting with those Canaanites. With them Hamites, go get you, a woman of the Hebrews, like your kinsman. Outside of that, as an Israelite man in particular, right, Negro, Latino, Native American man, you can choose whatever woman you will. And we're gonna, who's some easy proofs of that? Moses, first wife Zipporah. Who was her father? Jethro, the Midianite. Second wife was the Ethiopian. Whether Moses or whether Aaron and Miriam liked it or not. Solomon, Rehoboam, which is Solomon's son, what was his mother? An Ammonite. Rahab the harlot, which was a Hamite, was in the lineage of Yahushai. So Esau, the so-called white man's fear of interracial so-called marriage has nothing to do with the Bible. They're using the Bible as a means to justify their so-called racial hatred. That's it, and that's all, folks. Let's get this right quick. Right here specifically, Deuteronomy 7, right? Because even there's certain Israelites that get confused on this topic. Deuteronomy 7:1, it says, when Yahweh thy power shall bring thee into the land whither thou goest to possess it, and cast out the many nations before thee, the Hittites and Girgashites and Amorites, and the Canaanites and the Perizzites and the Hivites and the Jebusites, 7 nations greater and mightier than thou. And when Yahweh thy power shall deliver them before thee, thou shalt smite them and utterly destroy them. Thou shalt make no covenant with them, nor show mercy unto them. Neither shalt thou make marriages with them. Thy daughter thou shalt not give unto his son, nor his daughter shalt thou take unto thy son. For they will turn away thy son from following me, that they may serve other gods. So will the anger of Yahweh be kindled against you, and destroy thee suddenly. So right here specifically, when we were beginning our conquest of the Holy Land, we were told not to take any of those Hamitic tribes for mates, because we were to wipe all of them out. The child sacrificers, idolaters, faggots, abominable food. They were committing all kinds of sin. So the Heavenly Father had this stipulation on them specifically to wipe them out. We were allowed to take whatever woman of whatever nationality we wanted. How do you prove that? Deuteronomy 20, give me 1 second. I believe it's 22, give me 1 second. 21, right? Deuteronomy 21 and 10. It says, when thou goest forth to war against thine enemies, and Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai thy power hath delivered them into thine hands, and thou hast taken them captive, and seest among the captives a beautiful woman, and hast desire unto her, that thou wouldest have her to thy wife, then shalt thou bring her home to thine house, and she shall shave her head and pare her nails, and she shall put the raiment of her captivity from off her, and shall remain in thine house, and bewail her father and her mother a full month. And after that thou shalt go in unto her, and be her husband, and she shall be thy wife. So after we got our land, y'all, and we wiped out those tribes specifically, it was told to us, you know, in doing the rest of our thing, going around, we were allowed to take the women of the other nations, our enemies, if they were pleasing unto us, and make them a second wife, a concubine. All right, there's no scripture anywhere that directly tells you interracial marriage straight up is unlawful, y'all. The Heavenly Father likes variety. Now, as we just read in that Deuteronomy, where the problem comes is when you, as an Israelite man, if you do have a child with a non-Israelite woman, you can't let your children be raised up in the customs of those people, right? And our women in particular, they can't have heathen men as husbands because those children aren't Israelites, right? Leviticus, the 24th chapter, shows you what happens when you have a heathen woman have a child with an Israelite woman. Those children will grow up to be demons. You understand what I'm saying? Rebel against our God, Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. So that white Christian nationalist guy on the left, that pastor, he is simply sharing the same sentiment that weak dick Edomite males are running around sharing. They're pissed off that their women are choosing to be with men of other nationalities. Their justification is not biblical. It's simply rooted in white man jealousy and hatred. That's all that it is. You know, they're not using the Bible correctly. They don't understand the Bible correctly. All right. So once again, let's do this real quick, just to run through the list, y'all. You know, straight up and straight down. You are allowed to get with a woman of another nation. All right. How you act after that is what can get you tore off. Right. Numbers 12:1. And Miriam and Aaron spake against Moses because of the Ethiopian woman whom he had married, for he had married an Ethiopian woman. Now right here, and if you know the whole story, here it is. Miriam got struck with leprosy for talking bad on her brother here. All right, just showing you, you know, this is Moses' second wife. He got with the Ethiopian woman. Moses was a better of a man than the Lord than any of us breathing today. If the Heavenly Father didn't want him to get with her, he wouldn't have had it happen. Another example dealing with Moses, go back, what do you see? His first wife, Zipporah, right? Yep, Exodus 2 and right at it, 21. And Moses was content to dwell with the man, speaking about Jethro, aka Reuel, and he gave Moses Zipporah his daughter. What was Zipporah? A Midianite. Verse 16, it says, now the priest of Midian had 7 daughters. Bingo. That's one man. Let's do this. And, you know, for and if what that white dude was saying was correct, how do you explain the Lord's lineage? You know, this world calls Jesus. He has a non-Israelite woman in his lineage. Come on now. Well, you would have to properly explain Rahab the harlot. They can't. Why? Because they don't understand the scriptures. They don't understand how nationality works. They're not saying that because they believe in the Bible. They're saying that because they're scared and jealous that the little white bitches is running off to Israelite men and men of other nationalities. You know, because it ain't nothing to get a white woman. White women are fuck a cockroach if you let them. Shit. That ain't no real, you know, it ain't no real big deal. But it is to them because they know that their people It's going out of the window. Rehoboam. One second. That H ain't in there. Give me 1 second, y'all. God damn it. Right here, Salakia. Yeah, it did have the H in it. 1 Kings 14 and 21, it says, and Rehoboam, the son of Solomon, reigned in Judah. Rehoboam was 41 years old when he began to reign, and he reigned 17 years in Jerusalem, the city which Yahweh did choose out of all the tribes of Israel to put his name there. And his mother's name was Naamah, an Ammonitess. So this Israelite man had an Ammonite mother, so-called this black man had a Japanese mother, right? And his father also was a black man, a dark-skinned man, as he's described in Songs of Solomon 1 and 5, right? He said, the son kissed me. Once again, those people talking in that video don't understand nationality, and they don't understand which type of so-called interracial relationships are allowed biblically. The so-called white man is simply butthurt that his women are choosing to be with men of other nationalities, specifically Israelite men, Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. They don't understand the Bible, right? Because, hey, you got to remember, y'all, they use science and the Bible these past centuries to justify their mistreatment of us. They told you that black people are stupid and dumb, we're dark, right? We're unintelligent, we're incapable of thought and functionality without them. Then you up and lo and behold, popular culture, their women love to be with black men. They love them a Rico Suave, right? It wasn't me, and we did it on the sofa. It wasn't me, and did it in the shower. It was, right? They love them a big, tall Native American man with a jean jacket and a hawk tattoo on his chest, right? Nighthawk looking ass nigga from Mortal Kombat. Here it is. They've done this entire campaign telling you how much better they are, yet their women ain't picking them. Ain't that something, y'all? Ain't that something? So of course they're going to be against interracial so-called relationships. It has nothing to do with the Bible or with facts. It's simply out of jealousy. Let's go piss some folk off. Let us see what the ladies have to say. How do the ladies feel about the subject, fellas? You already know. Oh damn, I'm gonna knock the music, right? How do the ladies feel? They want to chew on the corn on the cob. You understand what I'm saying? This is why they're trying to justify, their racial superiority, because everywhere they turn and look, they see that us, the Israelite man, are desired, right? They literally the so-called white man came up with laws in the United States of America in its beginning, right? 1790, right? The Naturalization Act. Quintessentially, if you're not a white male, you're not allowed to own property in this land, right? Black people are not considered men in this country, right? They actually made it illegal for white women to have relationships with Negro and Latino men. Why? Because they were choosing to be with us rather than them, even centuries ago, y'all. This ain't nothing new under the sun. This is the same reoccurring issue that they keep having. Why? Because they are demonic oppressors, and even their own women will oftentimes choose to abandon the potential wealth and easier life that they could be having with them to come be with a Israelite man. And she going off right there, right? She married, but she right? This is the same old tale all over again. And they, it eats them up inside, right? And it eats up the actual Edomites, because the Israelite foreign brothers don't be tripping, right? I'll say, let's take an instance, a famous case. You look at your boy Jacob Plant, right? More than likely, right, an Israelite foreigner. He got him a little Israelite woman, little black woman, right? He not tripping, right? You take the one comedian guy, what's his name? The dude, y'all know his name, man. He was married to that black woman, even though she divorced him and took his money. But you don't see him. The real, actual Edomite males, right? They're actually in fear of being replaced. they know that they've done wrong. So y'all got to talk to whoever y'all got to talk to. That don't got nothing to do with us. All right, and we gonna get back to the main video here in a minute. But you know, I got to run through the ringer. Got to hurt some feelings.
Would you not date?
White. Fucking white.
What race are you?
Not white.
Why wouldn't you date white?
I didn't say that.
Oh, what race would you not date?
Okay.
So you see what they all chose, right? You see what they all chose. Now I wouldn't, you know, bother with them little miscreants, but you see what they chose, and you see what they specifically chose not. This is comedy. This is comedy.
White or black men?
Honestly,
A lot of white men don't have confidence.
White or black men?
I like black men. If it ain't dark, there ain't no spark.
So why?
Y'all, when we hear this, you know, it's funny to us, you know, brothers, right? This is funny to us. When they hear this, y'all, this makes them want to cry blood tears. I'm talking about Edomites, so-called white men, the enemy. They've done all this conquering, all this slaughtering, all this butchering, right? They got the companies, they make the money, yet their own women reject them. It must hurt. It must hurt. Here it is. We're in our lowest state, and we still get chosen up internationally, right? You had that one woman, a Turkish woman. She's been interviewed. You know, dude said, "Well, what?" He said, "What kind of men do you like?" She said, "Black." He said, "Why not the Turkish men?" She said, "Because." You just had recently that German woman, right? She said, "You know, black people just understand me." We can't help it. What are y'all mad for? If you're better than us, don't worry about it. Why do you fear being replaced? Because you're fucking evil. That's why. God damn it.
Black men over white men?
Honestly, I feel like it's just like the charm, the swag. I would go for a white man, but
And you know, they use those words to describe it, but simply put, the spirit that is in the Israelite man, Negro, Latino, and Native American man, they find it irresistible, y'all. And that's just how the Heavenly Father made us. Why? Because we are the chosen people, and there's nothing we can do about it, and we ain't gonna alter it. So the bitches want to choose up. Let the bitches choose up. Esau, Edom is bent all out of shape, y'all. They've done all this planetary conquest, and their own women don't even want them. How about that? All right, and the only reason why our women aren't in order is because we're under the curses. But once the curses are lifted, everything will go back in its order. 2 for 1. We're gonna get our women back and the rest of the other women of the world. And we already fucking getting them. Shit.
not a country.
I think it's
not a country.
It's the way they carry themselves. A lot of white men don't have confidence.
I agree.
Like if a white guy had confidence that he looked good, then that's fine. I don't really care about color for real. It's about how you carry yourself.
I agree with that. It's confidence, it's personality, charm.
And white guys just most of the time don't have that.
Hey, so you know, let the customer speak, right? Let the customer speak.
Listen, I'm taking applicants, okay? I'm looking for a black American man to be my lover so that I can fly. All I have to pay for is the flight over there, and then I can stay with you. And then you can drive me around. That's the only, I'm not asking you to pay for anything else, okay? That's all I need from you. So essentially, it's not really costing you anything because you're already paying for your rent, motherfucker. Or you own your house, whatever the fuck your situation is. Do you know what I'm saying? That's all I'm asking for. And in return, I will be your lover because I want to be in America, bitch. But the fucking accommodation killed me, and so did the Ubers, bro. Do you know what I'm saying? So that's all I'm asking for. You need to be black to apply, please.
So all you need is some wheels and some dick. Hey, I'm having fun with it. Hey, but y'all see what the deal is. Y'all see what the deal is? This ain't nothing that I did. I didn't wake up and start this. This is comedy. Let's go back right quick. Let's go back. So you see here, y'all, the points that he's going to be making here, it has nothing to do with biblical fact. And I'm going to get more. Another one, right? A notable man, David himself. Who was in David's lineage? Ruth, a non-Israelite woman, right? She was a Moabitess. Ruth 4:13, it says, so Boaz took Ruth, and she was his wife, and she went in unto her. Yahweh gave her conception, and she bare a son, and that woman said unto Naomi, blessed be Yahweh, which hath not left thee this day without a kinsman, that his name may be famous in Israel. All right, and you jump down. Excuse me. And the woman, her And the woman, her neighbors, gave it a name, saying, there is a son born to Naomi, and they called his name Obed. He is the father of Jesse, the father of David. So David's grandmother was Ruth, the Moabitess. So taking it back here, y'all, they don't understand nationality, and they don't understand the tenets that are in place behind so-called interracial relationships. Because Ruth, although she was not an Israelite woman, she obeyed our God, so it was okay. Now she was coming with that Moabitish, Chemosh, right, Maktesh, those Moabite gods type of vibe. Then of course, they would get the fuck on. But she came and she bowed down to our gods, right? And she would go on to be one of the foremothers of David. And that also puts her in the lineage of Yahweh Shai, right? Along with Rahab the harlot. She feared our God Yahweh, right? And she was given to an Israelite man, a Judite man in particular. So these guys, y'all, they're not honest in their speech. They're just talking. He's a weak dick white boy, scared. And even Ruslan on the left, Ruslan on the right, he's with a black woman, which, the laws of interracial marriage don't apply to Israelite women the same way as they do to Israelite men, right? Because when you do as an Israelite woman, when you lay down with a non-Israelite man, those children are not Israelites. So you are actually forbidden to be with other nationalities. The men, we can be with whatever nationality of women that we want to be. Is it a double standard? Yes. Oh well. Too bad. Oh well. Right. Go talk to God, and when you go meet him, stay there. But you see, the guy on the right, he's actually Armenian, right? He claims so, Assyrian of some sort, right? If he's actually Chaldean, but he went and got him a black woman, so of course he has some stake in the issue, right? Some skin in the game, as they say.
And what you have is time. You have not 1,000 ingredients. You have 5, 6, 7, and they're not distantly related, but much more closely related. They then come into this furnace, and the furnace is
the analogy he's trying to make is completely, I don't know what he's trying to make, y'all. Let me fast forward. There's 2 points I wanted at 7 minutes, then at 10 minutes. I'm gonna let it play. Oh damn. All right, Salakia coming back here.
But at the time, doing my premarital counseling and saying, you know what, this is permissible. I will officiate the marriage, but I would be remiss if at some point in our premarital counseling I did not bring up the fact that marriage is already sanctifying enough. This is going to make it really hard. You might want to prayerfully reconsider.
So Joel, this is what I would add to that. I think you would say the same thing if you had a family that was a upper class white family that loved Jesus and a trailer park biker gang family.
A little different because they could still speak the same language.
Okay, they could still speak the same language, but you're talking
that would
about
still be easier.
See, so y'all, this don't have nothing to do about Bible or Christian beliefs. The example that Ruslan just laid forth to him, he said, okay, so if you had one rich white family with money, and then you had one degenerate biker gang family, right? You'll let them get married, even though they have completely different values. Because remember, at first the dude was saying, well, you shouldn't get married outside your race because of different values. Well, a business exec and a biker got two different values. But once again, y'all, this has nothing to do. It's okay as long as they're both white, right? So one's a degenerate, physically, and the other one, Rich Edomite, he's a degenerate on paper, right? Financially. This has nothing to do with their belief in God or the lack thereof. This is white Edomite fear of being outbred and put out the planet, which it's a reasonable fear that they have because that's their biblical destiny. In Obadiah, in Isaiah 63, the Edomites are biblically prophesied to be exterminated, and you're not going to be exterminated by outbreeding. You're not going to be exterminated by being, voted out of America. You're going to be destroyed by fire. That is what you should be worried about. The biblical destiny of the so-called white man by prophecy is extermination via fire, not by being outsexed, which if we wanted to, we could get you that way. Let me get that real quick. This is what you need to be scared of. And we could go there in Malachi 1 and 4 as well. But this is Obadiah 1 and 18. What is the destiny of Edom? And the house of Jacob shall be a fire, and the house of Joseph a flame. All right, the two major houses of Israel, northern and southern kingdom, the Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. We are the true biblical Israelites, if you didn't know. Divided up into two factions: northern kingdom, right, the Latinos and natives, Native Americans specifically; southern kingdom, which makes up the different Negroid tribes, right? Judah, Benjamin, Levi, so-called African Americans, Haitians, Jamaicans, the Negroes from the islands here in the western part of the world, grabbed up from where? The west coast of Africa and several parts of Europe. Those two houses together make up the Israelites. It says, in the house of Esau for stubble. Esau is the father of the Edomites. The Edomites today are the so-called white people who you have divided yourselves up into different names. Europeans, right? French, Spanish, German, right? You are the Edomites. What is the destiny between us two peoples? It says, in the house of Esau for stubble, and they shall kindle in them and devour them, and there shall not be any remaining of the house of Esau, for Yahweh Bahashem Yahushai hath spoken it. So the destiny of the so-called white man is to be destroyed in fire by the Israelites. This is the source of their true fear. They know that they're going to be exterminated, right? And anything that brings them close to that, y'all, they're perpetually afraid of it. Hence, they're afraid of us being outbred. And you got bigger problems to worry about than being outbred, homie.
Still speak the same language.
Okay, they could
talk
still
to
speak
their
the same
in-laws.
difference, but you're
That
talking
would
about
still
a
be easier.
massive cultural disconnect.
Oh.
If you're talking about an upper middle class Christian family that loves Jesus and a biker gang, Hell's Angel family from a trading
that
park.
massive distance, you're right, that massive distance still pales in comparison to the distance I just described.
And see, y'all, so right there, this has nothing to do with Christian. They spent the last couple centuries telling the world that they were better than everybody because they're lighter skinned and white skinned, so-called. What did he say? Oh, I remember now what I wanted. He's going to go on to say something here. 1 second.
They probably wouldn't be dating if they couldn't speak at all. But for this gal, she's from Brazil, and English is her second language. And this guy, is white as the driven snow, and
white as the driven snow. That's what they're worried about. And there is nothing. There is no nationality called white in the Bible. What they are the Edomites. Red is their true color. There is nobody white on the earth. They are red, and they are afraid of being outbred. All right, so right there, you see what this is about, y'all. They white as the pure driven snow, as they call it. And in terms of skin color, y'all, what they have is leprosy biblically. It's not a good thing to look like that, although some of us do, right? In the kingdom of heaven, we're all going to get our original color back. They've gone on an entire campaign to convince the world that they are the ideal image, and they're simply not. And all the lies are falling apart, y'all. All the lies are falling apart now. Give me 1 second. Right, and I'm going to read this. This is from page 34 of medical apartheid, showing you the mistreatment that our people suffered medically here in America. Just a little gem, right? It says, for other theorists, race indicated entirely different species of men. It says, with different origins as well as different characteristics for blacks and whites. Those who believed in this theory, a theory, not a truth, were polygenists. Still, others believed that whites and blacks shared a common ancestral ape. Crazy. And a single species. These were the monogenists, excuse me. Most monogenists, meaning one gene, believed that whites and blacks were originally and inherently equal, but that blacks had suffered from environmental and social pressures that caused them to become inferior. Other monogenists believed that blacks' de-evolution had imparted permanent inferiority, although they still shared a species designation with whites. So y'all, this is according to their sciences. They taught and believed that they were better than you. And when you look up in the world, you see the complete opposite, right? There's also something else. Give me 1 second, y'all. Right here, another one. It says what? Throughout the 17th century, 1600s, and in the early 18th century, 1700s, the theories of scientific racism were informed by the Bible as well as by science. Genesis, for example, held that people of every race had originated from the biblical Adam and Eve. This is from the same page 34 of Medical Apartheid, just further down. It says, had originated from biblical Adam and Eve. Gradually, blacks had taken on divergent characteristics such as darkened skin, woolly hair, and prognathous features, dictated by their African climate. The idea that blacks' features were dictated by climate was already widespread. They mentioned Shakespeare's Cleopatra says is described as burnt black by Phoebe's amorous kisses. So right here, y'all, what it's saying, you know, this medical examiner, she was saying that racist whites used to try to use the Bible and science to prove racial superiority. But when you look in the world, it's completely opposite. And Adam and Eve were not white. You know, complete misuse of the scriptures. They're simply mad that their women are choosing up. You know, it is what it is. We know the truth. They're just gonna die, and we still gonna be black and beautiful, as they say. So that's really about it, y'all. I ain't gonna drag this shit on too long. I just thought it was funny. You know, these as we get closer to the end, they're busting apart at the seams. They're not Christians anymore. They're not Democrats or Republicans. They're being exposed to be hateful, bigoted demons who have always had a monkey on their back and a hard-on for exterminating us. They've never given a fuck about the truth. They've never given a fuck about morality or God. They've been demons from the beginning unto the end. This has never been about the Bible. This has never been about truth. They've used the Bible as a tool to justify their own evil precognitions. That's it and that's all, y'all. Give all praises to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahushai, Bahasham, Rachakorash, to honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. Peace, blessings, and salutations to all the elect Akim, Wa'akwath, learning and teaching truth and sincerity. Shalom.